contest set for one fall is for the WWE Championship.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
I see a Bad Moon Arisin tonight on Around the Turnbuckle. I'm Big Al. That's Professor Keith right over there. And down there is the legendary Wolfman. What's up, man?
I don't know. I see the bathroom on the right.
It's-
You know, every arena or every fire company I ever played in, if you think about it, the men's bathroom was always on the right of the
It
building.
was on the right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
I
And
love
every time my song played, that's what I thought in the ring. And I'd sing that, But I had a good time. Hey, before we get started, I gotta say one
Yeah.
thing.
Good.
Congratulations, Mark Mess.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You were inducted into another Hall of Fame. You did what you needed to do, and I heard you're going to be on Around the Turnbuckle
Next
next
week.
month.
Yep.
That's good. Next week. That's good.
Next week.
So you guys are doing a heck of a job with this show.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank
And, right now, I got you guys. You guys helped me with my show.
Mhm.
Inside the squared circle, and I appreciate that. But
And-
I know you guys want to hear some stories about that.
We do. And before you get into that, I want to say that, folks, the Inside the Squared Circle show is on Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock on Facebook Live. You can look at Wolfman's Facebook Live page and watch it there. Or if locally in that area, you can watch it on WNEP Channel 16. That is Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock to 7:30. He's got a phone number on the bottom. You can call and talk wrestling. And a lot more fans have been starting to do that. I got comments to get out of the way before we get into the stories. Rye Guy says, hello, Big Al and Professor. I know you all would be able to get a guest this Sunday with none other than the Wolfman. Awoo.
Bribery works every time.
David Motorman says, there he is with Big Al and the Professor, the ECW Pennsylvania wrestling legend and our cherished friend, the 3WA Commissioner, Valor Primus Champion, and our cherished friend, the Wolfman. Thank you, David. David Helt is clapping. Big SWO fan down there. He says, we miss you at SWO. That's David Helt. He comes on. Hi, David. I hope you enjoyed Gauntlet for Glory. All right, man.
I heard that was a heck of a show last night.
It absolutely was.
It was.
It was a full house, man. I mean, there's capacity, 180 people there. You had the wrestlers. We had over 200 people in there. It was crazy. Merrick, Miami, said that there's a bathroom on the right at the Seven Valleys Firehouse.
Yeah.
He seems like he's just figured that out. I know he's only got one eye these days, but damn.
Come on now.
What? I'm stating a fact.
I know.
So Merrick Miami's got one eye like me?
He got attacked, and he's wearing an eye patch lately. He got attacked by Evan Atlas last month, and then last night he was not cleared to compete, so he was in the front row, Wolf, and he got attacked again. And you can check out his vlog. Look at his vlog on Facebook. You'll see exactly what happened.
Yeah, brutal.
Oh, well.
Evan Atlas is going to be looking at some fines at least.
Oh, Evan Atlas is never happy.
No, he isn't.
All right, so yeah, we guys, if you've not seen our show before, we usually talk to wrestlers and/or legends in this business about their careers. We usually start from the beginning and how they got involved in the career. We've done that and been there with this guy a couple times over. So if you want to see those stories about how he got started in the business, go to our YouTube channel and look up Wolfman in the past, and you can watch those interviews and check them out and see exactly how he got started in the business all the way up till now. But I thought it'd be fun tonight to hear some stories that maybe we never got to, because once we start talking with Wolfman, that this hour goes really fast. So, floor's yours, my man.
What's the rating on these stories? What rating are we going up to? Are
Well,
we gonna
we
are we
we
gonna Jim Barnett this and be like, what's the dirt? Where's the dirt, my boy?
I can say some of the stories that I can tell you. There's some stories I can't tell you, but there's
Yeah.
some stories that I can tell you. When I first started in this business, um, there's a lot of great guys in the business that I uh, well, Max Thrasher, the bounty hunter. Um, I had Harley Watkins. Um, these guys are all independent guys that I grew up with, and these guys are great guys. But they were Harley and I had a problem from the very beginning, but we always worked it out. Um, but some of the stories, well, I don't know what kind of stories you want me to tell you, but tell you the first time that I ever got in a ring was in New Jersey. I was wrestling against my trainer, Max Thrasher, the bounty hunter.
Hmm.
Well, we're working the match, and he tells me to clap his ears. I don't know. You guys know how a lot of wrestlers or fans know when you clap someone's ear, you clap around their head. Well,
Right.
I'm
Here, I'll
new
do
at
it to you,
this.
Professor.
I don't
Yeah.
know anything. I clapped his ears,
Oh, you did. Oh, you did it for a shoot. Oh,
and yeah, I clapped his ears, and uh, the next thing I know, he's got me down, and he's got me in a head thing, and I'm on the mat, and he's holding on to me, and he's there. Calm down, young man. Calm down. And he smacks me up alongside the head. I passed out.
oh
Oh,
That was
wow.
my first match, and my adrenaline was going that fast. That was the first match. So there was a lesson. There's a lesson in there.
which is
When you're wrestling somebody else, you got to listen to what's going on.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it crazy things like that in this business happens. I don't know if I ever told you the story. The funnest one I had was with Jules Strongbow. Y'all know who Jules Strongbow is? Chief J Strongbow's, what is it, cousin, nephew, whatever he was.
Nephew, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah. Well, we're working in New Jersey, and we got there. We set the ring up, and the guy says, "You're going to work Jules Strongbow tonight." Well, a lot of people, God bless his soul, a lot of people didn't like Jules, but I didn't know any better back in the day. So I'm working against Jules Strongbow, and he dropped a knee on me, or dropped a leg on me, and he said he blew his knee out.
Oh.
So during this whole match, after he supposed to have blown his knee out, he turns around and I put him in. He says, "Put me in a trap." I have him in the trap, and he's sitting there, and we're sitting there, and I'm working this thing and working it, and I mean it's going crazy. And all of a sudden, Dick Worley, the greatest referee out there, the old, he says to Jules Strongbow, he says, "Jules, there's a young lady behind us, and she ain't got no drawers on." He, Jules Strongbow, bounced all the way around in a circle just to be able to see this girl with no drawers on.
I swear to God, Alan, I know people like that.
But she had drawers on.
Yeah.
But some of the things, some of the crazy things that happen in the ring while you're in there working, you know, while you're in there working, they say work the fans, work the fans. Well,
Right.
a lot of times fans will work you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I've had some crazy things from fans that, but
Well, Jules Strongbow, I looked it up quickly, was the kayfabe brother of Chief J
yeah,
I
Strongbow.
thought it was something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
like
he was.
hey brother.
Yeah,
Right.
he wasn't even. I don't even. I know Jules. I know he was an Indian. I
He
know he was.
was, but
Yeah.
he wasn't related like
Yeah,
blood
And
related.
Jay was not. Jay was an Italian guy.
Jay
Name
was
was
an Italian guy.
Joe
Yeah,
Scarpa or something.
uh, that's like a young man that I trained years ago, Rob Dreamcatcher.
That's a
He's
cool
not an
name,
Indian,
but it's a cool name.
but but he played the gimmick very well, and he really did a heck of a job doing it. Um, but I mean, I've told stories about me jumping the fence and going to NWA and all that stuff. Uh,
Hmm.
did I tell a story about the time I got stabbed in the head by New Jack?
I don't
Never
think you
did.
mentioned that. I know
Uh,
you've told us the story about when Paulie wanted you to have to. I think it was work Sabu, and Sabu would break the
No.
bottle of your head.
Oh, he wanted me to let oh, what the heck's his name? Blonde haired guy, the surfer,
Oh, the Sandman.
Sandman. He wanted
Sandman.
me to let the Sandman break a bottle over my head.
I
And it wasn't
remember that.
it was a real bottle.
Yeah.
And the
And
only thing about that, he was still doing the surfer gimmick, and Paul wanted
he,
that.
he wasn't doing he got away
He was
he was getting
starting to
away from it.
do
He was
okay,
getting away from the surfer
the one
gimmick.
we know now, where it was the
Yeah.
cigarette and the cane and the drink.
hmm
Okay,
He
becoming
was
the
getting away from that, and they wanted me to let him break a bottle in my head. And I said, "There's no way I was going to do that." But we're working for the night I got stabbed in the forehead by New Jack. I was working. It was New Jack, Ron Starr, um, O Dog, myself, um, Brad, and there was one other. We were doing a hardcore. Uh, well, I think it was a 6 man or whatever,
yeah.
but it was crazy. It got
Jack,
crazy.
Jack ain't doing anything but hardcore.
Yeah, it got crazy in that, and
In a
well,
New Jack match, I'm shocked.
me and me and Road Dog went off a scaffold onto the floor. Um, he got hit with one of them bread racks, and don't ever take a bread rack to the back. They hurt like
Yeah,
oh this I can swear a little bit, right? They hurt like
yeah.
hell. Um, but so the match is going on, and all of a sudden, New Jack takes a fork and stabs me right in the head. So I got mad, and I told him, I said, "Hey, what the hell?
Yeah.
Nobody said anything about you going to be doing crazy shit like that." And he
Right,
stabs me
clear
in
at
the head,
first.
and the match gets over and everything. We go to the locker room, and I flat out told him, "Today's a good day to die, mother. We're gonna go." And I went after him, and he didn't want to do anything. But then he told me, he says, "Well, Avilas told me to do that." So I went to Avilas and I asked Avilas, I said, "Hey, did you tell this clown to stab me in the head with a fork?" No.
Yeah.
So I went back to the locker room and there was no New Jack. He was gone.
I've heard this exact kind of story a few different times from a few different workers that are like
But
Jack.
he
And
was
I
supposed to be
Jack
such a
was live
badass.
today and found out about this. Jack would go out and do a shoot interview somewhere and be like, "He's full of shit. I can't. I sat back there and I waited for him and he didn't show up. I'd have kicked the
Yeah.
shit out of him." Because that New Jack was
Yeah.
a character, and only in wrestling kind of person could we have New Jack. Rest in peace.
Yeah. But he he didn't want to go, and uh, I got back in the locker room and they said he left. He grabbed his bag and he took off.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, this guy's supposed to be such a badass,
Yeah,
you know.
I've heard a few different stories like that where people will say like, he got out of line with me in the ring because, and he's admitted to it. It's not like we're speaking ill of the dead. He's admitted he was impaired a lot of the time when he would do stuff. He was
Oh
taking
yeah,
substances and whatever. So he'd get wild, he'd get out of hand, he'd get a wild hair up his ass, and he'd decide he's going to do something to somebody. And then it would be exactly what you described. That person would go back and be like, "Hey, we didn't talk about that. We didn't clear
yeah.
that. So if you'd
He
like
had a
to
reputation.
right now,
he had a reputation that he was a gangster, and he wanted to be that gangster and everything. And I mean, God rest his soul, but most of the time he worked. He shouldn't have been working anyway because he was always high.
Yep.
He was always stoned.
Yep. Or worse, because I mean,
Yeah.
there definitely he talked about cocaine use for one
Uh-huh.
thing, and I'm sure there was other stuff that he shouldn't have been doing. I'm sure that's 99% of why the mass transit thing happened because he was probably, I think he
Yeah.
admitted he was high as a kite, and that
He
was
was wasted.
part of the problem.
Mm-hmm. Um, let's see what other stories. Told you about the story about the young man that I've never was scared that night as much as I was. We were in Virginia. We get down, we take a ring down to Virginia. We get there, we set the ring up, and the promoter says, "Hey, you're my champion tonight. I want you to put this young man over." Okay, no problem. And this happens a lot in the business,
Oh
or
yeah.
back when I was first getting in it anyway. So first thing I asked the promoters, how long this kid been working? I've only been working at that time. I was only working maybe I've only been working a year.
Mhm.
Okay, but I knew what I was doing and everything.
Mhm.
So he says, "Well, he's been working about 2 years. Um, he's pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you put him over for the title." So okay. So we talk the match over. We get out in the ring. We go to lock up, and I knew I was in trouble as soon as I went for the lockup because he didn't know what was going on. So we're working. I'm working him, and I'm making him look good and everything. I hit him with a snap suplex, and both of his legs hit the ropes.
Oh.
Oh,
It sounded like a shotgun going off. Blew
Yeah.
both of his kneecaps. Blew both this kid's kneecaps out.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm all upset and everything. I put the kid over. I put the kid over anyway. I
Mhm.
got him, and he got on top of me, and it was a 1, 2, 3, and he won the title that night. Get back into the locker room, and one of the kids in the locker room comes up to me and he says, "It's a shame that happened to him." He says, "He ain't even been working a week. The
oh,
only reason,
Oh
the
my god.
only reason that they're putting a title on the kid, he sold 100 tickets.
Yep.
And back in the day, that's how this business worked. If
right.
you sold
Oh,
tickets, you became a champion."
there's still scumbags out there that will use people who don't know what they're doing. Oh, go sell a bunch of tickets, or oh, go do this.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've never run across those people, but I know they still exist. I still hear stories about, say in different groups and whatnot that I've seen on Facebook where it's like, stay away from this guy. He uses untrained workers. He does
Hmm.
this guy sold a bunch of tickets, so he's letting him fuck around in the ring.
So I've never been back to Virginia to that organization, and I never got paid for the ring rental because
Figures.
I broke the guy's jaw because he put me in a situation that should have never happened.
Exactly.
And that's some of the stuff I can tell you, but I don't. I mean, what
Hopefully, he's
else?
not in business
What else
anymore.
do you want to know? I mean, there's a lot of crazy shit that I've done. I mean, of course, I started out when we talked about all this over at
Yeah.
Milestorm and um, did the needle through the nose um, and all that. Um, got well, maybe one of these. You said you want a story. I got one. I just remembered. I
I
just
figured
remembered one.
I
I
figured
just
you'd have
remembered
more than
one.
one. It would just
I, I,
pop
I,
in
I,
there.
yeah, you got to remember something. I'm old.
Hmm.
I gotta dig back in time. Uh, it was me, the midget, Shovelhead Chuck. I don't know if you ever met Shovelhead Chuck or not.
No.
And oh, what the heck was his name? The other one that went. We went down to uh, Chattanooga, Tennessee, and did a show. And this road trip with a midget, me and the other guy went. It was a funny road trip because we're driving down the road. We take the midget's car. Okay, it's set up. It's set up for him to drive it. Now halfway, we're headed down there, and we're getting there, and the midget gets tired of driving. So we pull into a truck stop, and here they're taking the the foot pedals and that off. So Hayne, that's who the other person was. So Hayne can drive.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm saying to him, I'll help drive too, but these guys ain't letting me drive because oh no, you don't need to drive. You trained me and you know. So they're not letting me drive. I'm just riding in the back of the car. So we stopped after we got the foot pedals changed and everything. We went in the truck stop. We got some snacks and everything, and I'm bored. We're driving down the road, and I took a bottle and threw it out the window, and it hit a police car.
Of course it did.
Like,
And
come on.
And when
We
you
get
say you took a bottle and you threw it out the window, I assume you mean a bottle you relieved yourself in, threw it out the window, and it hit the.
Yeah. Well, I was being polite, but
Yeah,
so I threw it out and it hit a car. So
not just a
we get
car, but a police
yeah,
car.
we get
Nice.
pulled over, and he's running the cops running the tags, and he says it belongs to. I'm not going to say the kid's real name, but it's Shovelhead Chuck, and Shovelhead Chuck is in the passenger seat at the time. Haynes driving. Okay,
Hmm.
so Haynes decides to say, "This ain't my car. The guy in the back's crazy. We we picked him up hitchhiking."
Some Texas Chainsaw Massacre going on here.
Yeah. So he's telling this cop that they picked me up. I was hitchhiking. They picked me up, and they were giving me a ride. And this police officer is telling him, "Well, let him here. Let him here. Don't take him along. Let him
Right.
here." I'm there, like, you better get this shit straight.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, and this cop's saying, "Well, I'll take him to jail on that." And I'm there. Wait a minute, guys, come on now. And then finally Haynes said, well, he trained us. We're going to a wrestling show. And I mean, I got fined for $150 for throwing a bottle out the window.
God.
That was for just throwing the bottle out the window. Then I got a letter in the mail for littering. And that was $350.
Oh,
So I got
I'm surprised you weren't in Jersey. That's like a Jersey thing they do.
we
Where
got
we're going to get you for this, and then we're going to keep getting you for more.
they got me for about maybe I think like $700-800 in
Ooh.
fines, different fines. But Hayne paid like $1,000 because he should have had control of me in the back seat while he was driving. How in the hell can he have control of somebody in the back seat while you're driving? What's he supposed to do? Turn around every 5 minutes and tell you not to do something?
Yeah.
Now,
This guy's crazy. This guy's crazy. He said.
yeah.
So if you guys are watching, I see there's about like it keeps fluctuating between like 10 and 20 of you. If you have a question for Wolfman, man, send it my way. I'll gladly put it
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah. Throw some.
I might answer it.
No, we talked to
There's
Wolf
a
all the
guy
time.
here, Greg Thundercat, who says, "Man, you guys are amazing. Glad to know all of you, and so happy to spend time I have with you guys. Can't wait till next time. Absolutely,
Yeah.
dude. Bring it." Bring it, man. I know the professor and I keep talking about a road trip to Alabama,
Yeah.
but
Maybe one day.
I don't know if Greg's wife would put up with us. I snore pretty loud.
Oh,
Hey.
speaking, and I can tell you another road trip.
Go ahead.
We're going up to New York for a show. I'm taking the wrestling ring to this show up in New York. We're doing a ring rental, and it was me, Hayne, and his sister. we're going up through, and somehow we got into Connecticut, and we got out of Connecticut into New York, and we got on some wrong on the road that trucks aren't supposed to be on.
Right.
So I get pulled over, and Haynes saying, "Well, I'm getting pulled over." Haynes saying, "You're going to go to jail. You're going to go to jail." I'm there, for what? What am I going to go to jail for? I said, "Just shut up." And now, to make the story even better, my nephew was in the back of the rider truck. Okay,
Mhm.
he's going on. He's helping to set up the ring. He's riding in the back of this rider truck, and so we're banging on the truck. Saying, "Keep quiet! Don't sit." The cops are pulling us over.
Right.
So we get pulled over, and the cop comes up. And I give him my driver's license and all that. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting there, and Haynes says, "You're going to jail. You're going to jail." Cop walks up to the door, and he says, "Mr. Baker, could you please step out of the truck?" I said, "For what?" He says, "We have a warrant for your arrest." And this is no joke. I'm there, okay. For what? He says, "Well, there was an accident back in 95, and you never went to court for it." Well, I've never been up here before. In 95, I wasn't up here. I don't know what you're talking about. So they read off an address from York here, and I didn't live there. And as soon as they read the address off, I knew who it was. My youngest brother, or my brother next to me, little prick, he used my name. He got in an accident. He was going up, bringing back carnival trailers, and he got into an accident, and he used my name.
Ah.
And he never told me. And this cop, and I'm fighting with this, I'm arguing with this cop and all that. And I've never been here. He says,
Right.
"Well," we're going to prove you were. He said, "I'll prove you were, then I'm taking you to jail." I said, "Okay. How are you going to prove that?" He says, "Well, they're sending me a picture right now." Well, they sent a picture of my brother Joe. I'm like, "That ain't me." There. "Who is that?" I said, I don't know who that is, but it's not me." He said, "Well, this guy used." And Hayne and them's laughing, and this is all. Hayne didn't even know what this. He's there, "Man, what would I done? I would have to take the ring up there and set it up and work for the guy, and then how would we get you out of jail?" I said, "I'm not going to jail." So I ain't never been back to New York since that, because the cop said, if the wrong cop pulls you over, he ain't going to go through the stuff that he went through to find out if it's really you
Oh,
or not.
New York
Right,
Stadies are no
yeah.
joke. New
Yeah,
York, I've dealt with New York Stadies.
yeah. So handing them all the way down, they're laughing about this, and I'm thinking all the way. We go up, set up the ring, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna call my brother,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna let him have it. Well, I called my brother and started saying something. And he says, "I didn't do that." I said, "They got your picture." He says, "That wasn't me." I said,
I got your picture.
"No, they got your picture, and you used my name, and you gave your own dumbass address that you lived at." "I didn't do it." And you hear his wife in the background. "Yes, you did." I'm like, okay. So that was
the voice of reason, man.
that was that was that was the crazy, just crazy trips and that. I went on trips with Evan Atlas and some of the guys that are in SWO now.
Yeah.
We went down to a show in, I'm gonna say, somewhere down in Tennessee, I think it was, and it was like 4 or 5 of us, and we stayed in this hotel, and At that time, I was chewing tobacco. Okay, and Evan Atlas said we shared Evan Atlas and his girlfriend and I shared a room, and they were out. They went out drinking and whatever, and they come back in. I was sleeping, but when I fell asleep with chew in my mouth,
Mm.
and the whole pillow was nothing but chewing tobacco or red. They thought I was bleeding, so I called heck for that one. I did because the room wasn't in my name; it was in Evan Atlas's name.
Oh yeah, so he's getting hit for that.
And some of the stuff. Now, I'm pretty sure at the what do they call it? One of the things I'm going to tell you about. I think it's been long enough. It's been over 15, 20 years. I think it's 7 years that you don't have to worry about it anymore. But we stayed at a hotel. Dino Santa paid for the hotel before I go anywhere any farther. Dino Santa paid for the hotel whenever we did a show outside of Pennsylvania and that. And we're at this hotel, and it's me, my buddy uh, uh, Stu, and a couple other people. And one of the things I always like doing when I stayed at a hotel is breaking the bed. It was a thing that I would like to. And now I weighed all but 300 pounds back then,
Mhm.
so I'd climb up on a dresser and I'd dive off onto the bed and break the bed. So we done this. I've done this a bunch of different times. So we're in. I think we did a show in Wildwood, New Jersey. We're at this hotel, and they're telling me, don't break the bed, and don't do this, and you know, told me a couple different times. I always told them I didn't do it, but we didn't do it. But it's been over 7 years, so the story is. So I climb up on this dresser, and I dive up onto the bed. I hit the bed, and the next thing I know, I'm picking myself off the floor. This bed bounced me back out of it and onto the floor. And I said, this ain't happening. So I did it. I climbed back up and did it again, hit the bed, and boop, hit the floor. Well, we looked under the bed. They had cinder blocks under the bed.
Oh.
Come to find out that somebody called the hotel and told them that a bunch of wrestlers were going to be staying there, and they like to break beds.
I was just gonna say somebody stooged it off, and the hotel's like,
Yeah.
we're gonna fix these guys.
Yep. And I didn't break the bed that day, but I'll tell you what, I hurt for about a week from hitting them floor twice.
He's not allowed in he's not allowed in Virginia, Professor. He's not allowed in New York State.
The shore is probably not a fan.
New Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Any hotel on the New Jersey Shore.
Yeah, in Jersey Shore, hotel bed break you.
But but I never rented a hotel in my name. It was always in the promoter's name. But
Right.
You liked Dino when you were doing that.
yeah, well, it was something that I liked. It was something that I can't help it. It's the Wolfman. It's the crazy part of the Wolfman. I howl at the moon. I'm gonna say it flat out. I howl at the moon. I like boobs, and I like doing dumb shit. Crazy. That's what I mean. If they made me if they rate a card up for me, I'd be happy. So, but there's a lot of
my God.
a lot of crazy things. I can tell you a story about when I worked the carnival. I met this woman one time. Oh, this is crazy. I met this woman at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
And this back then, and I actually quit drinking because of this story I'm going to tell.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is that anybody out there that goes out to drinking and that, as you're drinking, as the night goes by, you get beer goggle eyes, and
Beer goggles, yep.
everything's beautiful. You
Everything's
know,
beautiful. Beautiful.
everything's beautiful.
Yep.
So I end up going home with this woman, and the next morning I woke up. When I woke up, I'm looking around. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at because I was drunk when she took me home. I'm looking around, and there's all kinds of Jesus pictures all over the
Ooh.
place. And I'm like, okay, where am I? I turned my head, and this woman must have weighed. She must have weighed a good 300 pounds, if not more.
Wow.
And I'm looking. She had a hunch on her back, big, big. So I said, she said, we had a good time last night. I said, well, okay. I said,
If
what
you
time
say
is it?
so. If you say so.
Yeah. So I said, what time is it? And where am I? She says, well, you're about 3 blocks from the fairgrounds. She says, just go out the door and you go down the street there and you get to the, I said, okay. I said, it's almost 11 o'clock. I got to get back there. I got to go to work. So I grabbed my clothes, put my clothes on. Out the door I went. I'm there. And later on that day, we're getting ready to open up the sideshow, and I'm standing up on the stage. And uh, my boss's two daughters are alongside of me. One's a juggler, one's a fire eater, and I'm also a fire eater. So I'm standing there and I'm getting ready to show them how to eat fire the fan. We got a crowd coming, and I look down the midway, and I see this woman walking up the midway. I looked over and I said to Bridget, I said, Bridget, I gotta go. She said, why? I said, this woman coming here. I said, I gotta go. Phew. I took off. I went into the tent and I hid. For the whole week of the show, this woman was looking for me. Anybody that ever works a carnival, if you're going to go out and you get drunk, don't do it the first couple nights of the show because you're going to get chased. You know. But this is some of the stuff that you know.
She wanted one more ride on
Yeah,
Space Mountain.
she wanted that one more.
Woo!
She wanted one more ride, but I mean,
Oh
so
my
He wasn't
God.
having it.
I,
Oh.
I d- she kept coming back and wanting to and my boss finally told well he no longer works here he's not here no more he left and I'm hiding now I'm hiding under the stage now if anyone ever seen a side show you have a bally stage you have ticket boxes on both sides he's in the ticket box I'm hiding under the stage she's standing alongside between the stage and the ticket box and I'm down there hiding, and she's there. Well, where's he at? And I'm there trying to be as quiet as I can. Bridget comes out, and she says, "What are you doing under there?" Out and gone I was, right into the tent, and I was gone. That's it. So,
Oh my God.
but I fell. I guess I fell in love with the Hunchback of Notre Dame that night. Yeah, it was crazy. So I for the longest time, my boss always teased me about that. He says, "Well, you gonna go out drinking tonight?"
Yeah.
No,
No.
no, not me. Can't do that no more. But
I'll
it
cure
was
somebody
fun.
with
It was
alcoholism.
crazy stuff. You know,
But that's life, man. I mean, life's a bunch of crazy stories. I mean, I
hmm
have them. The professor has them. We have them. They're not to that degree, but like
No, I mean,
shit's
I
happened.
just
I mean, before
I
I
got
got
another one I can
married,
tell you. I got another one, but this is actually could actually be X-rated and not very nice because I was in the sideshow and doing my act. I'm doing the human pincushion, and I
mm,
got this clown there, and he's running his mouth. And we're doing what they call midnight madness. It's after. after midnight, the show closes. Then it opens back up for 2 hours, and the rides are real cheap to ride the rides and see everything on the fairgrounds. So I'm doing my act, and this guy's running his mouth, and he's well, stick one in your, and I'm there. Okay, you want me to really stick one in there? I said, you pay me $100, I'll do it.
This is for context. This is what year? So $100 is like
It was good money. This was back in '84.
okay. So one. I think
Decent money.
yeah, I think the conversion rate now is $1.84 is worth $3 now.
Well,
For those that want to do the math and the conversion on that.
I wasn't doing it for just $100. I wasn't doing it for just $100
Yeah.
because I knew it was going to hurt.
Oh yeah.
So this girl says, "I'll pay $100 too. I'll pay." And there's like 10 people there. They're all saying, "We'll pay." And this one mouth is running. He's running his mouth, and there's a little kid standing there. So I'm not going to do it when there's a kid standing in the audience.
Right.
Yeah.
We got some
'Cause
standards.
and this guy is being ignorant, and he whips his out and smacks this kid alongside the head with it. I come down off the stage with this fucking needle. The needle was that long, and I stabbed him in the stomach with this needle. And I commenced whipping his butt. The police come. They pick the kid up. They take him out because of what he did.
Mm-hmm.
The story ain't going to be over yet. So now we go up to the office on Reinhoffers, and we're sitting there, and the chief of police comes in to the they call it their parade yard or whatever, right there by the office, and the chief of police punches this kid in the face, and we're just like, here it was his son. It was the chief of police's son that took his and smacked this little kid, and chief whooped his butt. But that was one of those that started the whole thing. So I get back to the show, and these 10 people that wanted to pay $100 to see me stick a needle there are still there. So we had what they call in the sideshow, they have what they call a blow off. Okay, so I go back behind the tent in this little area to tent it off, and they all paid $100 to get in to see me stick a needle, and I stuck the needle, and then after I did it and everything, the next day I said to my boss, I said, "Well, where's my money?" He says, "Oh, you get paid at the end of the week." I said, "No, they everybody paid $100 to see me do this, and I want money,
Yeah.
you know." And he says, "Oh, I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you." So out of the $100 each that these people paid, I got $50.
Mm,
So he took 50. He says, "Because you were performing under my tent." So then he moved me from the stage outside into the blow off because I do crazy shit like that with the needles. I used to take them and stick them in my face, all kinds of dumb stuff. But that was, I don't have a lot of wrestling stuff that I can think of. I think I told you guys all that stuff.
You did, but like the
Yeah, most
carnival
of it,
stories,
yeah.
I think are funner, right? I
Yeah.
mean, the
Oh,
carnival
carnival
stories
stuff.
are.
I did. Let me tell you something. I did a lot of crazy shit back then because we were in Connecticut, and there was this girl at every night the show would close. There was one stand on the fairground that stayed open, and I got to know the girl there. After it all happened, I actually went and lived with her for a while. Uh, but I'd go into this restaurant on the fairgrounds, and every night we start talking and carrying on. And one night she bit me in the butt. They called it land sharking. So the one night I decide I'm going to go in and I'm going to get her, and she's up on a stand. She's putting water in the coffee pot, and I walked up behind her and bit her in the ass. And all of a sudden I feel two hands grab my shoulders. I'm like, okay, what? And I never took notice to the two police officers who were sitting there. And so the cop says, "That's an assault." I said, "No, that's a land shark." He says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I bit her in the ass." So that's a land shark. He says, "Do you know her?" I said, "Yeah, I know her." I said, "She's my wife." And then she just looked at me like, she said, "Yeah, that's my husband. He does that to me all the time." And I thought for sure that I was going to jail that night.
She covered for you.
Yeah, if
She
she didn't
covered,
cover for you, you
covered,
probably will.
and then I went and I lived with her. Okay, I went up to Bear Lake, Michigan, and we lived with her for about a year almost, and went out one night and got drunk. Come back, and I said I was going to go back out to get drunk because her friends didn't want to drink anymore, and I said I was going to go out and get drunk some more, and she says, "No, you ain't," and I said, "Bitch, I'm going out." And next thing I know, I'm picking myself off the ground. She hits me in the head with a frying pan, and literally,
Wait, that's not a cliche. That actually happens to people. Like, people
yeah,
getting hit in
Oh
the head
yeah,
with fire.
she
I
hit
get it.
me in
I
the
get
head
it.
with a cast iron frying pan,
Cast iron.
and I laid outside the trailer, drunk. And when I woke up the next morning, she told me to leave, and I did. Any woman that can beat me, I'm gone.
Hey,
Yeah.
my mom's here. My
Oh,
mom
I
wanted
was
to
gonna
say
say,
hi.
hell of a time for your mom to show up and tune in.
Hi, mom.
She probably hit somebody with a frying pan.
I
Oh,
believe that.
she's hit a
I
few with a
believe that
frying
about
pan.
Alan's mother.
At least
Yes,
she hasn't hit. At least she hasn't hit me with a frying pan.
she should have though.
Yeah, but
I feel the love in the room, man.
I mean, it was crazy, and her mom and them didn't like me anyway. Her, her
Too
mom
bad.
didn't like me at all.
um,
Now the daughter did. Her daughter liked me, but that's a different story, and I ain't telling.
Oh dear.
she said, "Keith, why is that? Never. Yes, I should have. Yeah,
There you
see,
go. Yeah, she knows.
a bunch
Uh huh.
of that's a bunch of shit right there. She should have
Oh,
hit me with a Wolf. You agree with that? She should have hit me with a frying pan.
Well, if you did something wrong, yeah,
I was a good boy.
I got hit.
oh,
Dude,
I was
he
gonna
wasn't
say.
the first one that ever hit me with the frying. The second one that hit me with the frying pan was my real wife, the one I'm married to now. It's in the nursing home.
Uh,
Yes, she hit you.
We're getting ready to go out on the road,
Yeah.
and I hired this girl that lived around the block. I hired this girl to go out and work the sideshow with us. And while I was at my real job before we're getting ready to go out on the road, I come home and my routine was come in the door, go upstairs, get a shower, and then come down because where I worked, you got dirty. I worked at a junkyard and I was filthy.
yeah.
So I walk in the door, I'm headed up the steps, and the next thing you know, I'm picking myself off the floor. And I turn around and look at her and said, "What was that about?" She says, "Well, your girlfriend came here today and she said that you and her's going out on the road together." I said, "Number one, she ain't my girlfriend. I hired her to go along because my boss told me to find a woman, a girl to go along and to work the sideshow, handle the snakes. And this girl liked snakes. So the girl never went out on the road with us that year because I marched my wife around the corner over to the girl's house and I knocked on her door and I told the girl, "What the hell are you doing telling her that you're my girlfriend?" I said, "I hired you for a job, nothing else." She says, "I didn't know your name." So I just said, asked if my boy. I didn't know that was your wife. I thought that was your mom. My wife told her, and my wife was hot.
Oh
She
yeah.
was mad. I'm there. All right, let's let it go. Everything's cool. I got a lump on the back of my head, and I mean, if you ever look at the back of my head, you can tell it ain't something right there.
Well, a
So
couple shots with cast iron
Yeah.
frying pans, Wolf. I
yeah,
mean,
I think that's why I'm crazy.
my mom will tell the story about when I was a kid. I jumped on the bed and got like stitches in the back of my head. And then once they were healed, I jumped on the bed and I did it again. So I didn't learn my lesson. We used to have those old style radiators, the big,
Oh yeah.
the
Uh
metal
huh.
one, the
Cast
metal
irons.
ones. And I dropped off, and I landed,
Uh huh. I know what them cast irons are like.
yeah. So yeah, she'll tell you that story. She's met you a few times down in Quakertown.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could tell you a story about what happened one time to me. I was a bad kid climbing through.
You know.
At 12 o'clock at night. Every chance I got, I'd climb up out the window and I'd go and run around the neighborhood and cause all kinds of problems. I'd break windows. I'd do dumb stuff. Uh, and one night I'm crawling back in the window, and that window slammed shut on me.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm stuck under the window. The window's down on my back. I'm stuck there, and I think I took the worst whooping in the world because my dad lit me up with a belt. He said, "You want to sneak out, young man?" I did, and he whooped me. And I mean, kids, if you think about doing dumb stuff, don't do it because that's what's wrong with the kids today, though. They
yeah,
don't get their ass beat.
yeah. That's right.
Right. You
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
they've taken the belts out of our hands.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, they know they have that power. The worst they're gonna get is they're gonna get their electronics taken away, or they might get like a week in in their room or whatever. But it's there's no capital punishment.
yeah.
I know
Well,
my brood. You take their electronics away. My God, it's probably worse than if I beat them.
Matthew Rodriguez has a question. We got like 7 minutes left. He says, best experiences in ECW.
best experiences in ECW. I had a lot of good experiences in Eastern Championship Wrestling. I
Hmm.
got to work Terry Funk.
Terry
Uh,
Funk.
I got to work. I got to work against. Yeah, what the heck? Jimmy Valiant.
Jimmy Valiant, yeah.
I worked Jimmy Valiant in SWO a couple times, but I mean, I got to work guys at that were great, man, because it was fun. Uh, I got to do a stunt in Eastern Championship Wrestling. It was um, Eddie Guerrero. It was the four they brought back from over in Japan. It was Eddie Guerrero, um, the man with 1,000,
Dean
Oh,
Malenko.
Dean
Dean Malenko.
Malenko.
It was the four, them four guys that hung together.
Yeah,
Mm.
the Radicals.
Yeah, we did. We were in Philadelphia and we're shooting a show, and they decide we're at a sports bar, and we're sitting there, and me and two other guys are sitting at this bar at the table, and them guys walked in, and we're making fun of them, and they started beating my ass. They threw us across the table. We broke some tables and chairs that night, but it was all paid for. Yeah, and it was a stunt that they did. But I got to work guys like that. Got to do stuff like that. Um, I got ran over by a vet. Paulie hit me. Paulie dangerous hit me with a vet in Philadelphia, right in front of the ECW arena on that street. Uh, I rolled up. He come flying down, and I just took the roll up over top the car, and I mean,
Did that make
I,
hardcore TV, or what? That did that end up get? Was there a video of that somewhere?
I
I
honestly
think
don't. I don't think it ever went
I'm
out.
seeing it. Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever got. I don't think I'd ever. I know the bar thing got out.
Right. I could see
I
the
know that's
bar
out.
thing being on Sports Channel
Yeah,
or MSG or any of the other
that
stuff.
that got
I
out,
would
but
think back then hitting somebody with a
yeah,
car,
the
everybody
car
was
thing didn't. The car
up
thing never
yours
got
and
out.
touching it. Yeah.
But
Your thoughts on Todd Gordon? Matt wants to know.
I thought Todd Gordon was a heck of a guy.
Hmm.
Uh, the biggest mistake Todd Gordon made was selling the organization to Paul Lee.
Well,
Yeah.
Todd said that in his book that
You
he
know.
definitely didn't understand what Paul was doing, that Paul kind of turned the locker room against him and sort of eased Todd out. And Todd kind of realizes now, like, I thought I was selling it to him and he was helping me, and really he was pushing me out the door the entire time.
Hmm.
You were never around the Travel Lodge or any of that shenanigans, right?
What do you mean Travel Lodge?
There's a lot of infamous stories. I mean, Todd talks about it. He talks about it in his book that there was like a whole thing with Todd of basically being almost like a whore master over at the Travel Lodge and whatnot with rats and stuff like that.
No,
All
no,
sorts of illicit shit. And
no.
that's
I, I,
that's supposedly where the whole Todd is God thing came from.
I think that's where I think that happened after I left. After
Yeah.
um,
I think that was
because
when Paul and that sort of extreme crew was kind of coming in and
yeah,
it over.
um, because when I was working there, I won't be able to think of his name, but he I have his crown and everything. Eddie Gilbert.
Eddie Gilbert.
Yeah, I thought Eddie Gilbert gave me a lot of chances in that organization. So did Todd. Um, but then when Paulie came in, it was like uh, Paulie had his chosen few,
Right.
you know, and so did Eddie Gilbert. Eddie Gilbert had his chosen few, but they were getting ready to build an organization to something that became uh, special.
Yeah.
When the ECW era was special. I mean, because of the hardcore, all the crazy stuff that they did.
Right. Nobody'd
Um,
ever seen it before, and you had,
yeah, and
all the talent that could do it.
it was it was just something that I didn't think I could do. I can do hardcore. I could do hardcore with just some of the best, but I wasn't doing stuff like having stuff broke over my head, and I wasn't gonna let people beat me with barbed wire and crazy crap like that.
You're
I had
gonna
too many tattoos on. I have too many tattoos on me, and I do got some scars. I mean, I got scars from the fork. I got scars from Abdullah the Butcher when Abdul cut me up in 1999 up in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so I got scars from them guys, but I just didn't want to go and do that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So
sure. I mean, a lot of that stuff. You look at the mortality rate, or just the guys that came through it,
I'm
and
66 years old and I'm still able to go if I want to. Uh, I don't know if I want to go anymore, but I know if I really wanted to, I could get in the ring and I could go with some of the best. But um,
Well, right now you're the commissioner of the 3WA.
yeah, right now I'm the commissioner of 3WA. Um, I'm waiting. I go Tuesday to find out what's going on with the elbow.
Right.
I go to urgent care or not urgent care. I go to yeah OSS. They're going to tell me if I got something torn in there because I can't pick that arm up over my head like this and wave. Um, and the only way I can pick that arm up is if I grab it and pick it up. And then when I do, it doesn't want to stay up long anyway. But I don't know if I got something torn in there. But if I lay on the elbow, it hurts like hell. I mean, you guys wasn't there the night I almost got almost got the broken neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I did see the video.
I saw the video though.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that has the Wolfman deciding if he really wants to wrestle or not. But I think right now I'm going to tell you something. I'm thinking about doing.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about running a couple more shows. I'm actually thinking about opening up another wrestling organization here in York and running a couple shows. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I
You
ain't
never
quite
know what
made
the
up my
future
mind.
holds, man. But like the cool thing is that when Keith and I started this thing, and we started coming down to 3WA shows down in Quakertown. That's where we met you. And
Uh-huh.
man, we are so grateful to have met you because you have done a lot for us.
Hmm.
And so we'll always support you one way or
Mhm.
another. And speaking of supporting you, Inside the Square Circles on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock on Facebook Live and on WNEP. And you can see the Wolfman and the rest of us here on Around the Turnbuckle down in Quakertown on Saturday, March the 22nd. That's the next time they're in
I got
Quakertown.
Alan the Professor right here. Do you see
You
Alan the
do.
Professor?
The Owl and the Professor right behind
Yeah,
him. Yep.
right behind me, right here. The double-headed Alan Professor.
So,
I
no
got.
matter what happens, man, you'll always have a home here on Around the Turnbuckle.
Mhm.
And and I know vice versa. We love calling and talking to you on Inside the Squared Circle. And if you do me a favor before we get out of here, I'd like you to repeat what you said at the beginning of this show about our friend Mark Mest in case he watches the end versus the beginning.
Well, I gotta say, Mark, if you do watch this show, this is from the bottom of my heart. I am so glad that I known you all the years that I have. Uh, I still forgive you for setting me on fire. Uh,
well,
but I am so glad you have made it into the Hall of Fame. One more Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think you got one up on me. I've
he
been in.
said that's number 5 for him.
I've been in. I'm probably. I think I'm in 3.
Hmm.
Uh, so anybody out there wants to put me in the Hall of Fame, put me in the Hall of Fame so I can catch up
He
with
needs,
Mark.
needs 3 more.
Yeah. So Mark, congratulations. Love you, and we'll see you somewhere down the road.
All right, Wolfman, don't go anywhere when we go off the air, okay? Professor, next week, as you know,
Hmm.
we do have that Hall of Famer, Mean Mark Mest. He will be right here on the hot seat next week on Sunday at 7. You guys can see us Sundays at 7 here, usually every week with a new wrestler, with a new guest, whether it be a legendary figure like the Wolfman or whether it be a new guy just getting fresh into business. If you want to be a guest here on Around the Turnbuckle, please contact me ASAP. Those dates fill fast. As soon as we mention something, we got the next 3 or 4 weeks are booked. Mom, thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much. I love you too. And
Hit him with
everybody
the
else
frying
that
pan,
commented,
Mom.
Chris and Matt and Thundercat and Merrick Miami even dropped by. David, all you guys, man, we can't do this without your support. If you're out there watching this for the first time, subscribe, share,
Okay.
like our videos, get the word out. And if you know somebody, if you're friends with a wrestler who you could benefit coming on here and telling their story, this has been Story Time with the Wolfman Professor. Give him some parting gifts.
Well, like Al said, I love you. I appreciate you. I always say we were just a couple of nobodies, a couple of marks, and you took the time to talk to us and give us a chance. And you gave me the job at SWO, which I still somehow managed to have. Hypnosis is great. That class was worth every penny that I took.
Hypnosis.
But no, I mean, I appreciate everything. I appreciate you. I appreciate that you hang in here and come hang out with us.
All right. You were never Marks to me. your fans that wanted to do something in the business. At you guys touch everybody, all the workers. At, no workers out there has anything bad to say about neither one of you guys because you guys are down to heart. So,
We
and if
love it.
anyone ever
We
would
love
say
the
anything bad
business.
about you except for me, I'd whoop their ass.
There we
We
go.
appreciate
Our
that.
bodyguard.
We love it. All right, man. We'll see you in Quakertown on March the 22nd. We'll see everybody that tunes into Around the Turnbuckle next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, for the professor and the one and only Wolfman, I'm Big Al, and this was Around the Turnbuckle.
You think you know me?